The multiverse is a vast expanse, endless and layered, where infinite worlds reflect the countless stories of heroes, villains, gods, and mortals. Yet beneath all the triumphs and tragedies, there is always a darker truth. For every savior born, there is a destroyer waiting. For every tale of hope, there is an eraser of destiny. And within the deepest currents of eternity, two such forces stirred, moving toward one another with unstoppable certainty. One was born through death, sharpened by endless suffering into the perfect predator. The other was forged as the final defense of all existence, a sentinel clad not in flesh, but in story itself. Their names were whispered in fear and awe: Hunter Frey Doomsday and Cosmic Armour Superman. Doomsday had never been a simple beast. He was the byproduct of cruel Kryptonian science, forced to die and be reborn over and over until survival etched itself into his very marrow. What came out of those experiments was not a living creature, but a principle of adaptation, a walking truth of destruction. When he first killed Superman in Metropolis, the world thought him the ultimate nightmare. When he was cast into the Phantom Zone, chained by gods and left to decay, eternity thought the threat was finished. But Doomsday was never finished. Death was not his end, but his lesson. Each death rewrote his body, turning weakness into immunity, vulnerability into strength. By the time he evolved into his Hunter Frey form, he had surpassed the limits of anything natural. He was not bound to a single world or origin. He had become a predator of reality itself. Worlds fell like dominoes before him. Entire civilizations that had thrived for millions of years collapsed in moments when he arrived. The most advanced energy weapons dissolved into nothing against his hide. Magic shattered before it could reach his core. Even divine wrath had no meaning in his presence. Each failure of the universe to stop him only made him stronger. With every strike, every attempted imprisonment, every death, he adapted and returned. Hunter Frey Doomsday was no longer merely alive. He was inevitability given flesh. He was the law of destruction made real, and no one, not even gods, were beyond his hunger. But inevitability always summons resistance. At the furthest edge of everything, beyond mortal understanding, beyond even the realms of gods, lay the overvoid, the blank canvas upon which all stories are written. It was there that the monitors once wove their fire, and it was there that the greatest defense mechanism of all was forged. The thought robot, the Cosmic Armour Superman. He was not Clark Kent, nor Kal-El, nor even the Superman cherished by Earth. He was the idea of Superman, crystallized into golden armor and burning fire. He was self-aware, narrative turned into warrior, story given armor, destiny with fists, created to combat threats beyond imagination. The thought robot was powered not by sunlight, but by the very essence of narrative. He was hope itself weaponized into a sentinel. Cosmic Armour Superman was not a being one simply encountered. He stirred only when the multiverse itself called, when its very fabric was at risk of unraveling. He was not just a hero, he was the embodiment of the last wall, the shield of creation. His form was vast and golden, burning brighter than stars, his every movement rewriting the laws of possibility. He was infinite and singular all at once, existing only when the stakes surpassed comprehension, and the multiverse called again. Hunter Frey Doomsday had grown beyond his role as destroyer of planets and slayer of gods. His rampage had begun to claw through the foundations of higher realities. His strikes tore through dimensional barriers. His claws pierced veils that even the monitors dared not cross. His rampage created ripples that threatened to topple the delicate balance holding existence together. He had become a predator not of life, not of worlds, but of narrative itself. And when his jagged fist ripped through the veil of story, when his roar cracked the silence of the overvoid, something awoke. In that blank expanse, golden eyes opened, filled with fire and inevitability. The Cosmic Armour Superman stirred, summoned by the multiverse itself. His vast form blazed against the emptiness as he rose to meet the one foe even story itself feared. On one side stood Doomsday, evolution perfected. perfected, inevitability embodied, the predator of existence itself. On the other stood the thought robot, Superman beyond flesh, destiny given form, the living shield of all stories. Their collision was not a matter of if but when, and when they met, worlds would shatter, time itself would scream, and all of creation would tremble. The hunter had come, the armor had risen, and the multiverse braced for the impact of inevitability meeting resistance. The meeting of Hunter Frey Doomsday and Cosmic Armour Superman was not an introduction but an eruption. Doomsday tore into the higher plane like a living calamity, his body a storm of bone and muscle, his roar a vibration that unmade the boundaries of entire dimensions. Wherever his shadow fell, lesser realities folded, collapsing into dust beneath the weight of his presence. He was not simply arriving, he was devouring the very concept of existence. Before him stood Cosmic Armour Superman, vast and golden, blazing like a sun that could never be extinguished. He was still, not because of hesitation, but because his very presence steadied the chaos around him. The clash began with no warning. Doomsday lunged forward, his fists crashing down like meteors, tearing rifts through the overvoid. Superman caught the strike, and the collision sent shockwaves across infinite worlds. Universes trembled as time itself stuttered. The very laws of reality groaned under the pressure of their impact. Doomsday adapted instantly, his bones shifting, his skin hardening against the golden flames that tried to burn him away. He answered with another strike, jagged claws raking across Superman's chest, and for the first time the thought robot staggered. But Superman was not built to falter. He struck back with fists that moved across time and story at once, punches that landed in the past, present and future. Doomsday reeled but did not fall. Instead, his body absorbed the damage, rewriting itself to withstand even narrative-level attacks. Each blow Superman delivered became less effective as Doomsday grew more resistant, his evolution accelerating faster than creation could counter. They fought across planes of existence where no mortal eye could follow. Every step shook galaxies apart. Every strike erased timelines. They battled inside paradoxes, tearing them open and closing them with their fists. Doomsday hurled fragments of shattered monitor worlds as weapons, turning entire universes into jagged projectiles. Superman countered with blasts of golden energy that rewrote reality itself to erase their trajectory. But still Doomsday pressed on, immune to concepts that should never have touched him. For the first time in countless ages, Cosmic Armour Superman felt himself falter. His golden shell cracked, shards of monitor fire bleeding into the void. Doomsday's claws tore at him, and the monster roared louder, feeding on the very resistance of his opponent. He was growing stronger, evolving beyond even the reach of story. The thought robot knew he had only one choice left. Drawing upon the deepest folds of narrative, Superman summoned a weapon of last resort, an object older than stories themselves. In his golden hands appeared the ultimate nullifier, glowing with the silent promise of absolute erasure. Its hum resonated across all of creation, a soundless vibration that even Doomsday felt. The monster lunged, his body already adapting, twisting itself to resist annihilation. But Superman was faster, with the weight of every Superman across every story. With the will of all hope written into existence, he activated the weapon. A white fire consumed everything. Doomsday roared, his body unraveling faster than his adaptations could rebuild it. He clawed at reality itself, trying to anchor himself, but the nullifier stripped him not just of body but of presence, tearing him out of the story entirely. His inevitability ended, not by death, but by erasure. When the light faded, Cosmic Armour Superman still stood. His armor was fractured, his body weakened, his fire dimmer than before. The multiverse quaked from the cost of his victory. Doomsday was gone, not slain but erased from this tale, pushed out of existence. The thought robot lowered the nullifier, his golden frame trembling from the strain.